All right, here on PunchToTheFace.com, we are joined by Brian the Bandit Cobb. He's going to be a part of the one-night, 8-man tournament put on by World Series of Fighting here on November 20th. Brian, first off and foremost, how's training camp going so far as you're preparing yourself here for your next fight?
It's going really well. I just got back. I spent a week in Athens, Greece. Last week, I flew back Sunday night. I competed in the veteran World Wrestling Championships, or Wrestling World Championships out there, and had a really good wrestling training camp leading up to that. And I'm just piggybacking that with getting ready for this fight. So wrestling is my roots, and I figure stick with that. It's worked for the last 11 years. Hopefully we'll just keep riding it.
Well, how did you do there in the tournament over there in Greece?
I finished 9th.
Nice.
Yeah. Obviously, the goal, the objective was to go out there and win it. Circumstances being what they were, I made the quarters, lost to an Iranian, and then didn't get carried, so I finished in 9th.
All right, well, cool. Well, hey, at least you finished in the top 10, so, I mean, it's a start because, you know, you've been out of action here for now going on 2 years out of the MMA cage. You know, with those injuries, you know, and now you like you said, you got able to get a good camp in here for wrestling. Is that, you know, probably going through this camp, preparing for that tournament over there in Greece, is that a good kind of segue leading you into this training camp here for World Series of Fighting 25?
Absolutely. You know, it's so weird going into my last fight, being a little bit injured, and you know, having fought 1,000 times, what it feels like, you know, being hurt and just being okay. You get through the fight, you win, you get your hand raised, whatever, and you just keep pushing. Well, in that fight, I wasn't able to make it out okay. I did more damage to my knee, and so it was one of those eye-opening experiences. Like, oh wow, you know, maybe fighting with injuries is a bad game plan. And then I had an issue with a wine bottle shattering in my hand. Had to get glass removed from my hand. I severed a tendon. Then right the day before my fight with Johnny Nunez with World Series of Fighting, slipped on the treadmill, tore my meniscus. Wound up having surgery a few days after that as well. And so after watching the Nunez fight, you know, you'd like to think, oh, I could have done it. I could have made it work. But that was before I knew that I'd actually, you know, torn something in my knee. And so it stinks being hurt, but as I get a little older, I'm trying to realize you've got to make sure you're going into a fight, you're in the best position possible to win because, you know, like my last fight, go in hurt thinking you're going to be okay and more damage gets done. So trying to protect myself a little bit more than I have in the past.
Now, with you saying that, though, was there any trepidation or hesitation at all on your part when World Series of Fighting presented this opportunity to be in this tournament? Because subsequently, you're going to have 3 fights in one night. Now, granted, it'll be shorter fights than a normal fight, but yet and still, it's 3 different opponents in one night if you were to make it to the finals. Was there ever any hesitation at all when this was presented to you?
Nope. They pitched in, and I think I said yes before my agent even finished with the pitch. I fought in a tournament before earlier in my career. I fought twice in the same night, and I won that tournament. I think going into this, having fought in a tournament before, gives me a little bit of an advantage because I know what to expect. I know that adrenaline dump that's going to come after the first fight. I know what it's going to take to get myself ready to rock the second time. And, you know, I don't think me being hurt or any of this stuff is for a lack of toughness. It's I'm getting a little bit older and things don't heal up as well as you'd like every single time. But with this situation in front of me, I know that so many factors come into play with the tournament. And I'm not afraid to go out in this tournament on my shield if I have to, because there's no telling how injured the guy I'm going to be facing next may be. And so, you know, I'll grit it out. But a tournament, you got no choice. Second round, third round, if you're hurt in the first fight, the other guy is probably too. But I don't think that that's a thing that can actually damage my career or my reputation. Whereas going into a fight against somebody that you should beat, going in hurt, getting hurt, and then losing can be a detriment. So I'm excited. I think it'll be fun.
Well, absolutely. Now, your first round matchup, those were announced. You're going to be facing Mike Ricci. They're in the first round. How much preparation are you giving, focusing on him? And then are you doing any sort of, light training or light videotape work on the other opponents there in the tournament, because you could potentially face them in the rounds going forward?
Yeah, I mean, there's potential for me to face pretty much everybody in the tournament, depending on how it all plays out. But, at the end of the day, what I need to be focused on is not necessarily what Mike's going to do or what Brian Foster's going to do. It's about what I'm going to do. What's my game plan? How do I sharpen my tools that I know are good? Obviously, we've got a game plan for Mike, because we know guaranteed no matter what I'm facing him unless he gets hurt prior to the fight. So, yeah, I mean, I just want to be focused on what I'm going to do, focus on what are my strengths, where that works in my favor against guys, and we'll make some adjustments on the fly as the tournament goes on, and we know who we're competing against second. So.
Well, cool. Now, like you said, you've wrestled, for all these years, and that's where your background came in prior to MMA. With you being a veteran here of over 10 years, what's kind of kept you going and kept you mentally sane in this crazy sport known as mixed martial arts? Because you and I both know we encounter some very strange and odd individuals, both fighters and shady promoters here and there. What's kept you in this and still wanting to compete in this sport?
I've wrestled for so long, and I just love to compete. I love to prove that I'm capable of what my mind tells me I'm capable of doing. And I'm one of those people where if you tell me I can, I'm going to try and go prove to you that I can. And fighting is really fun, and so obviously you have to deal with all the other stuff like, shady promoters or, the cutting weights, travel, all that stuff. It all sucks, but you have to embrace it if you want to be successful at this sport. And I like going out there and testing where I'm at, and I've got a lot of other things on my plate that are distractions. So, I own a sports bar here in town, and I'm busy with that all the time, and I'm a high school teacher, busy with that all the time. I've got a 2.5-year-old little girl. I coach the wrestling program here. So when I get in the gym, that's my release. That's me just kind of going home, relaxing, doing my thing, getting all the stress and anxiety from the day out and behind me, and just trying to be a better fighter today than I was yesterday. And so having those chances, it keeps me very motivated, because the last thing I want to do is go home and be stressed out. I want to get in the gym, work on something, focus on it, have that adrenaline rush, get in the cage, bang with somebody for a while, then head home and get some rest. So having all these things on my plate has actually made me fall even more in love with fighting. So it's been a great life, and it's been a great 11 years. So why stop when I feel like I'm actually starting to hit my prime now that my body's kind of all healed up and everything's going the way I want it to? Just ride this train till the wheels fall off.
Right on. Now, I will also ask you this, with you being a veteran as well. What would you tell young fighters, and like you said, you do wrestling coaching. What would you tell a young up and coming person in the sport of mixed martial arts that something that you didn't know when you first started off? What you would tell them that you now know now? There's something they should focus on if they really want to have longevity and be successful in this sport known as mixed martial arts.
I really embrace a couple things that other people say, like the whole train with everybody aspect. I just think everyone has something to offer. You can't get too hard on yourself. There's going to be good days. There's going to be bad days. That's gym life. And if you're the only shark in the water, you're in the wrong place. You need to be with people that are going to push you every single day, people that are going to challenge you and make you better. And there's a lot of camps out there. I've never been a guy that's been just at one gym. So I've been fortunate enough to train up at AKA during some summers when I've taught summer school up there. I've been pretty close with Uriah since I was in high school, and I've gone up to Yeah, Team Alpha Male and Ultimate Fitness in Sacramento. Trained with those guys. I've trained down at the arena down in San Diego. Joe Duarte had some of those guys, and I've just been really lucky to spread it out. And I would say that younger guys need to realize that there's so much out there. There's so much knowledge to gain. So go everywhere you can, train with everybody, and just enjoy the ride because it's kind of short.
Well, we're absolutely knowing you're going to enjoy the ride here on November 20th, World Series of Fighting 25, 8-man, one-night tournament to see who's going to get their next crack at Justin Gaethje here sometime in 2016. Brian, man, make sure you give a shout-out to the sponsors helping you get prepared here for the bout.
I'm not sure who my agent has locked in yet, but I will give a shout-out to Garces Memorial High School where I teach. They're kind enough to give me days off so I can train and head out there and be where I need to be. My bar, Sports and Spirits here in Bakersfield, County of Bakersfield's wrestling team. Getting ready. We have our Intersport Blue Gold dual meet today. And I've just been pretty lucky, man. A lot of people have supported me throughout the last, 12 years, and I appreciate it. And we'll see who shows up to support on the 20th. But know that whoever does show up, I'm gonna bring my A game, and I just feel really blessed. God's given me way more than I deserve, and I'm gonna try and warrant all those blessings that night and walk out the winner and give myself a title shot.
Well, cool, man. Well, again, Brian Cobb here on PunchToTheFace.com. We appreciate you taking out time because, as you said, you got a lot on your plate and you're really busy. So we appreciate that. Best of luck in training, and again, we'll see you here November 20th, World Series of Fighting 25, lightweight tournament. 8-man, one night. We'll see who walks out the winner.
Right on. Thank you.
All right, no problem, man. You take it easy.